Rare shiny costume Pokemon such as Dragonite are dropping during the Fashion Week 2023, which is going down on Wednesday at 10 a.m. local time. And today we're going to go over the top tips, tricks, and strategies to make sure you guys max out in this event in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trader Club. Here we go. The event starting on Wednesday is going to go all the way until Sunday the 19th at 8 p.m. So you guys have approximately 5 days to be able to grind this event out. It's a fun event. There's a lot of cool costumes out there, some repeats, and a couple new ones. For all you shiny hunters, this is going to be a very high valued event for you. There's going to be great bonuses going on. The debuts of the Pokemon are going to be the fashionable Dragonite as well as the Wooper that does go into the Quagsire with the evolution, so that's going to be cool. There's going to be showcases, spawns, eggs, raids, and some research, and we're going to check those all out in our top tips. But the most overarching goal for me during this event is two parts. One, depending on how you play, is if you are a shiny hunter, this event is fantastic because there's so many costume Pokemon out here that are going to be ultimately rare at some point or another for future game players, so that's one thing. Number two, we have the 2x catch candy and 2x the likelihood of getting XL candy if you're trainer level 31 and up, so there's a lot of Pokemon here that you could get additional XL candy for, even though a lot of them aren't super relevant with the XL candy, but you might as well stock up while it's prevalent here at the exact same time. But there's also going to be raid bosses going down. We're going to have Virizion, we're also going to have Cobalion, and then we're also going to have the Kangaskhan as well as the Garchomp finishing up during raid battles, so you can optimize some of your XL candy along the way if that's what you want. But most importantly, the shiny overarching goal is the winner for all the costume Pokemon out there, because even if you don't like them, somebody wants them, and that makes them valuable because you can get something back in return that you want as well. So let's get into my top tips, starting off with tip number 1. The spawns of this event are going to include the Pikachu with the sunglasses and the hat on. I personally really love this Pikachu. I think it's really cute. Love this costume. Gonna have to have it. I don't think I have the shiny, but I'm gonna need it this time. We're gonna have the fashionable Diglett and the Wooper, which seem to have a pretty similar costume here, as well as the Krogunk overall. And then we also have the Gothita with the brand new shiny debut, which is fantastic. I am so glad that Gothita finally has a shiny. This absolutely, in my opinion, useless Pokemon finally can shine on occasion when you click it, but it is a 3-tiered evolution, so I do unfortunately believe at some point this Pokemon will have a Calm Day, which I really hope doesn't, but more than likely it can. And then we're going to have the female Frillish. We are going to have the Furfrou, that does have a shiny, which is a great Pokemon shiny and rare spawn at that, so you do want to do this. And then we have the Marini, the only Pokemon in here that is not going to have a shiny, and then if you are lucky, you can get either 2 Pokemon. One is going to be Absol with the sunglasses, which is a rarer Pokemon, great looking shiny there, or the male Frillish. And for whatever reason, the male Frillish always seems to be rarer than the female Frillish. Don't know why. The male Frillish is going to be blue. It goes into a turquoise shiny, which I think is really cool here. As far as meta attackers, we don't have any here. We do have the Absol that does go into a Mega. Unfortunately, it just goes into a single typing of Dark typing, so there's way better Pokemon to use as Megas for dual typing to gain XL candy, especially for a weaker Mega. However, we do have some PvP plays in here. The Wooper going to the Quagsire is going to be ranked 32 in the Great League, with Mudshot, Mud Bomb, and Stone Edge at a 0-14-15. In the Ultra League for the Toxicroak, it's going to be ranked 80 with Counter, Mud Bomb, Sludge Bomb, 0-15-12 at level 46 and a half. So it is going to require some XL candy there. The Jellicent in the Great League is actually ranked 34 with Hex. If that ever gets a better move than Hex as a quick move, it will be such an OP Pokemon here. Surf and Shadow Ball at a 1-14-14. And then in the Ultra League, it's ranked 24 at a 6-14-15. And that one is going to require 50 leveled all the way with 296 XL candy. And then we're also going to have the Toxapex in the Great League at ranked 24 with Poison Jab, Brine, and Sludge Wave at a 0-15-15. And as far as all the spawns, that is going to conclude there. I thought that Dragonite was going to be a wild spawn, which is actually bumming me out, even if it was a rare wild spawn. I love seeing Dragonite in the wild. It's such a nostalgic feeling for Pokemon Go, seeing those back in the day because they were ultra rare and they would spawn in lore modules and stuff like that. Unfortunately, today, they're not. So let's talk about a mega overarching for the event here. So we have multiple options here. So if you're looking at using the Toxicroak, you can use a fighting type Pokemon. And if you're going to use a fighting type, I would suggest the Mloppany, because that's that's going to dual type with normal type, and then you can get Furfrou XL candy at the same time. Or what I would suggest doing is going with a dark or ghost type Pokemon. So you could either go with the Sableye, which kind of works, but you can also go with the Gyarados. Gyarados being water and dark type is going to get you XL candy for the Absol, which is a little bit rare of a Pokemon. Once again, not a super powerful Pokemon, but a lot of people do like that Pokemon there, so you might as well multitask there. That's what it is, but now let's get into tip 2. Now we're talking about eggs coming out during this event. So we have 5-kilometer eggs. I am not the biggest fan of eggs, but you guys may. So 5-kilometer eggs will be yielding some costumed shinies that are in the wild and some are not, including the Pichu that is even cuter, in my opinion, than the Pikachu. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like Pikachu or Pichu cuter with this costume? I mean, the hat's so big on the Pichu, you can't deny how cute this Pokemon is. 100% IV for the Pichu is going to be 270. The Wooper will be 366. We have the Smoochum with the costume on. That's going to be 738. We have the Shinx that's going to be 500, and then we have the Gothita at 543. So there's great shinies in here, including that Shinx. I love the Shinx. Great Pokemon. One of the Pokemon that I would absolutely love to have a Shundo of, but unfortunately I do not as of right now. So that is going to be all the things as far as eggs go. What I recommend doing eggs, you guys have to take into account that if you do not get that shiny, will you be bummed at all the resources that you are investing into this specific type of gameplay? So if it's a yes, then don't do it. But if you're okay with it and you don't hatch anything good, that's okay too. Which then leads us to tip 3. Tip 3, let's focus on the raids before we get into the research here. So we have 1-star raids, which will be Diglett, Wooper, Sneasel, and Furfrou. All 3 of the top are going to have fashionable items on them, and the Furfrou is not, but Furfrou, once again, fantastic looking shiny. And just remember, there's all the different trim changes, so you guys are going to have a bunch of shinies if you are unique shiny collectors. In the 3-star raids, we're going to have the Butterfree and the Curlia that do have the fashionable items that have already been released, and then we're having the fashionable Dragonite and the fashionable Absol. But the Dragonite is going to be double weak to ice, so do treat it as it is a Rayquaza. Shadow Mamoswine is the way to destroy this Pokemon. If you want more XL candy, you guys can use the Mega Rayquaza to be able to yield you more candy here. And as far as the 100% IVs, 2167 for the Dragonite at level 20, or it's going to get boosted in windy weather all the way to 2709. And then we have the Virizion going into the Cobalion on the 16th, and the same goes with Garchomp all the way till the 16th, which then changes into the Kangaskhan. So if you are using the Mega Lopunny that we talked about earlier when fighting against the Kangaskhan, you will be able to yield yourself more XL candy for this specific Pokemon being a normal typing. I like the Mega. I have a 98% IV shiny that I love that Tommy traded for me, and I'm super stoked on that Pokemon. But that's going to be everything as far as raids, which then leads us to tip 4. Tip 4, all about research. Catch 5 Pokemon could be a fashionable Blitzel, which is going to have a 100% IV of 378. Catch 10 Pokemon can either be a Wooper or a Curlia, 275 or 414. Catch 15 Pokemon could be a Butterfree fashionable encounter at 783. Take a snapshot of your buddy could be a Diglett encounter at 289. And if you take a snapshot of 7 different wild type Pokemon, you can get a Shinx encounter if you do encounter this research reward, which is going to be 375. Great Pokemon to be able to go after. I do not suggest you guys dip out on this task and delete it. I suggest you do it every single time. Why don't you want to try to get a Shinx, and you don't even have to raid for it, and you don't have to hatch for it, and you can get it in the wild? I believe this will be the rarest research that is out there, but if you do encounter it, please do go after it. And then finally, we have a paid research as well. The paid research is going to include catch 10 Pokemon for a Diglett, catch 20 for a Croagunk, catch 30 for a Blitzel, catch 40 for a Pikachu, use 10 berries for a Wooper, 20 berries for a Shinx, snapshot of 4 Pokemon for Curlia, 6 Pokemon Sneasel, 8 Pokemon Absol, 10 Pokemon for a Butterfree encounter, and finally you'll get the fashionable Dragonite, 2 premium battle passes, and 5,000 XP. So that's pretty much going to be everything going on during this event. We also have some costumes and some avatar items if you guys do want to go after that for your Pokemon characters. But besides that, that's pretty much everything as far as this event goes. There's nothing that really sticks out as far as doing any type of evolutions, any type of rare Pokemon, but there is costume Pokemon, and costume Pokemon do hold inherent value, especially for shiny hunters. And if you do go to any of the events worldwide, if you do have shiny costumes, people are always looking for those to add them to collections. So you do have leverage for trades there. Even if you don't value them to you personally, they still have value. So thank you guys for being here as always. To all of my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out in the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and rating all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.